Disenchantment is the latest series created by Matt Groening for Netflix, the guy who made Futurama, The Simpsons, all that stuff, beloved shows, right? Well, Season 2 just came out. I made a video on Season 1, but never released it, a year ago basically. And now on to Season 2. It stars Princess Tia Beanie, or Bean, Lucy the Demon, and Elfo the half-elf, half-not specified. You'll have to wait till Season 3 to find that out. And I have quite a bit to say, so let's jump straight into it with my thoughts. The good, the bad, and the miscellaneous stuff. I'm Cameron, and this is Fast Thoughts. The good. Okay, the theme song is probably the best and most interesting part of the show. I like the visuals and the music for it. They're like all lineless and silhouette, and it's pretty cool for the visuals, and the music is pretty slapping, if I say so myself. It's honestly the most interesting part of the show, which I'll get into a bit later, but for now, the intro is actually pretty good. I like it more than, I wouldn't say it's on par with Futurama or The Simpsons, because they slap, but it gets to that level. It's pretty good, pretty catchy. The backgrounds consistently look good. Compared to The Simpsons and Futurama, this is where it oversteps it and is much better. They're way more detailed, they're kind of softer, and they don't have digital brushes instead of just like the line tool like Family Guy and all that, like how the animated sitcoms are, and it actually kind of contrasts pretty nicely with the super stylized characters, and I quite like that a bit. And my favourite character in the show, Lucy, is voiced by Eric Andre, and he's obviously clearly the best in my opinion. He's actually pretty funny at times. He's an awful little demon character, so he's just a dickhead to everyone, which is pretty cool. And I like how he's always shown from like an angle, like an Egyptian drawing or like a shadow or something, so he's always 2D and flat, while the other characters move like they're a 3D thing, but he always just goes from one side to the other, and his arms stick out the side, which is pretty cool. And for the good, that's really about it for Season 2. I guess Elfo is more tolerable than last. He was really bad last season. This season is better. He's just like a more toned down version of Lucy. He's just kind of annoying a bit and just a bit of an asshole, but he's still not really that funny. We'll get a bit more into that, the bad. So here we are. First of all, Bean, the main character, is an absolutely terrible protagonist. She's not likable in the slightest. Her design isn't even that great. She's not funny. I haven't laughed from a single thing she said once. She has no goals or personality or interest to reach to, so she has no character to begin with. She's basically just, this is her character. She likes to drink. She's morally ambiguous, I guess. But that's more just an idea of the bad writing of the show, I think. So she's basically female bender, but not funny, and that's it. She just likes to drink, and that's really it. She does a lot of violence, and then gets upset about it, and then tries to be good, then ends up being more violent, and doesn't help her character at all, and then she drinks. That's about it. She doesn't grow as a character, she has no goals. There's one episode where they just try to make her a writer, and she's all about how women can't perform in plays, or can't submit plays because of medieval times, of course. And they dropped that completely after that episode, so she has an interest in writing. Cool, that's a little bit of development for her. Bye-bye. Gone. It's just a one-off thing. So you don't care about it, there's no stakes, especially the first season. Spoiler warning, sorry, if you haven't seen it. Elfo dies and then he comes back, but you don't really care because he's an unlikable character in the first season. And then in Season 2 when he comes back, nothing changes. It's just, oh, okay, that happened. What now? Nothing? Oh, okay, cool. And Lucy, even though he's the best character, I wouldn't say he's on the same level as any of the Simpsons side characters, and comedic wise. He's not better than Moe, Ned, Barney, or even Zoidberg or Hermes. Hermes is more entertaining than he is from Futurama. He's the best character, but he's still kind of, the bars are set low to begin with Disenchantment. Other characters like Zod and Oddvor are the side characters, and they don't do a lot. Zog has a bit more screen time. He's voiced by John DiMaggio, so he is literally Bender, but his voice is a bit different, and he is kind of likable. He has a bit of development with Una. His second wife leaves him, and Dagmar, his first wife, is presumed dead for the majority of the series, but he kind of has an episode where he's trying to move on from that, and he actually develops as a character, which is good. And then it ends up in the climax of him getting shot, and possibly dying, which is, cool. You develop character, get rid of him immediately. And that's like a really big issue with me. Aside from that episode of Zog, or Zod, whatever his name is, nothing happens in the series. You've got the first 2 episodes to build hype, and the last 2 episodes to build hype for the next season. So then the 6 episodes in between, nothing. Like, it's just filler. There's an episode on a brother and an octopus, and that doesn't really result too much in the climax. He just ends up being a puppet leader when he ends up being the king. And the episode was meant to focus on their relationship, but nothing really happened from that. It's just a waste. And they do this to build hype around the next season, to build up for the next season. Oh, you gotta watch the next season, gotta leave it on cliffhanger. But nothing is no point watching it if it's not enjoyable and nothing building up to that for the rest of the season. You're mainly just gonna watch the first episodes and the last episodes. Because there's no development, nothing really matters. And I think that's pushed a lot by Netflix because they're trying to make it a show with an overarching plot of, oh, it's got deep lore, but it doesn't work because they're also trying to be a satirical sitcom-like thing like the Futurama and Simpsons, because they're trying to appeal to that crowd who like that, but at the same time they're trying to do something different, so it would be better if they just went with one or the other, and they don't do that at all throughout. That problem with Netflix is the runtime, and I'm not sure it's enforced by Netflix. I think it is because the majority of Netflix exclusive shows go for an excessively long time, and this one goes each episode 25 to half an hour, which is too long. I mean, most TV shows are 10 minutes these days, animated, and they used to be 20, like Futurama and The Simpsons still is. But this is half an hour per episode, and it's like, first of all, the characters aren't likable, it's not funny, and because of this, the pacing is horrible. They have to drag out the plot over half an hour, and the jokes don't work because of it. And it's just, okay, we've got the unnecessary court scene, which has been done a million times in other shows. Let's see what funny jokes I get out of that. Oh, nothing. Okay. Let's have these weird side characters, which we know nothing about, and I forgot existed. These 2 little characters that help King Zod. Let's have them in a boat and that die. It turns out they didn't die. Haha, funny. There's no real enjoyable side characters at all in the show. Another problem was that the show tries to be overly violent, just so they can get like a higher rate, like, oh, this is more for adults, guys. They're always killing characters, except the pig character. He's the only enjoyable side character, I'd say. The pig prince, he's always in deathly situations, but he never actually dies, which is, I think, a trope of the character, which I like. It's just he's one character never dies, and he's like, why? No one likes him, but I like the fact that he doesn't die. So yeah, it's a contradiction, but hey. Yeah, it's overly violent, like they'll just have violence, go, but is it just to be cool? Is it so they can have a higher rating? So I don't really know. It's going for that medieval Game of Thrones parody, which has been done a lot. It's an overdone concept, and there's no interesting jokes in it. Like, there's so much medieval stuff. It's just unoriginal. Like Futurama, it's a take on a futuristic thing which is done before, but they made tropes of that, and they made fun of that, alien movies and stuff like that. Simpsons is modern day. This is in the past, but it's just a Game of Thrones parody. That's all it is, with violence and Simpsons characters, basically, or Futurama characters, because it's not yellow. And they don't do anything very creative with it. They'll reference Hansel and Gretel in season 1, and they'll reference like hells and secret societies, but it's nothing too interesting. Like, I want them to take that concept further, and they kind of did that in the finale, which I'll get to in a little bit. But another small issue was the animation is pretty sloppy for a fully fledged TV show. Like, the blatant lip syncing errors that just don't match at all sometimes. Like, the characters will just like clip through props, like a cup or something, and like they'll be bending forward and they'll be horrible proportions and off model, and it's just really gross looking. So yeah, that's kind of most of my thoughts for the bad. Let's get into the miscellaneous. There's not really a lot. And here I'm just going to talk about one little thing in the finale of season 2 of the second last episode that made me go, that's so cool, why didn't they do that for the rest of the show? So basically, Bean shoots down this mechanical dragon. Turns out it's a guy from a different land. It takes place in Dreamland. This guy's from a different land called Steamland. Bean goes on a ship, she goes there, and it's like it is a medieval. But it's also a steampunk city with a mix of futuristic stuff and modern day stuff, and it's all steampunk, and it's cool, and there's blimps and stuff, and I was like, why didn't they do this for the show? How cool of an idea is that? A steampunk city in medieval times, and how they would cope with all the mythical creatures and stuff like that. With their modern technology, and it would be so cool. and they're there for 10 minutes max. And bye-bye, it's gone. Had cool music, bit of wasted potential. Hope they're probably going to go back in season 3, but that's the hype they're building up, which doesn't pay off because, big thing happens, oh well, who cares, let's go to 6 episodes of nothing. The main plot isn't relevant. Not really a lot of miscellaneous stuff, but it's just a lot of wasted potential, missed opportunity, but hey, the intro's neat, I guess. So, would I recommend it? I can't really say I would. Watch the first episode. If you find it funny, you might find it funny. I don't, personally. But if you watch the first episode of season 1, if you like that, try watching more episodes. If they don't appeal to you, just skip to the finale. It doesn't really matter. Skip to the last 2 episodes. And then you can do it for season 2 because nothing is really of substance. But hey, that's just my opinion of it.